Victory Monday for our Las Vegas Raiders. Man, I thought I would never say that in quite a while. I mean, the past 10 weeks, we haven't been able to say Victory Monday, but you know, the time that we don't really care to have a Victory Monday, the Raiders, I guess, have different plans, and I guess they just wanted to go out there and just win, baby. I mean, isn't that the mantra, right? Nonetheless, the Raiders beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 19-14 in a game that basically is meaningless, but I know that there's a lot of Raider fans out there really frustrated after this win because, like I said, we had the #1 pick in the NFL draft, I guess according to Tankathon, and Raider fans with hope of getting a franchise quarterback wanted to keep that #1 pick for the rest of the season, but winning this game drops the Raiders down to the #6 pick in the NFL draft now. That is kind of tough to hear, especially in a game like this where we know that we don't really need it. The Raiders win, but also lose at the same time.
I'm getting cooked.
Leave it up to the Raiders to go out there and just fuck around and win a game. Now, I'm not really mad about this win. Yes, I didn't really care to win because I was okay with having a top pick in the NFL draft. This doesn't mean that the Raiders can't still have a top pick in the NFL draft. We got 2 more games, and depending on what happens there, will depend where we will draft at the end of the season. But with that said though, man, I guess congratulations to our Las Vegas Raiders. We won a game. It's definitely a different feeling. We are sitting at 3-12 on the season. Now I know you guys might be asking, why did the Raiders go out there and win a meaningless game? Come on now, Oos. You guys got to remember that these players are getting paid to go out there and win games, and they don't care about draft order, which I don't blame. All of the tanking, all of the draft positions basically is just for us fans. We just want something to root for, which is okay. But to expect the Raiders to go out there and just bend over and just lose the game is something else. Now, somebody that was really excited about this win was Mark Davis. Reports was going around that Mark Davis was actually in the locker room happy. The vibes were all high and everybody was just having a good time. Antonio Pierce was happy about this win. Yes, it came later in the season, but nonetheless, just winning was more than enough for these guys to go out there and just have a good time. Brock Bowers was asked about this as well. He said that the vibes were at an all-time high.
What do you feel when you see the owner in here celebrating with a big smile on his face, shaking everyone's hands as well?
Oh, dude, I mean, it's awesome. Like I said, the vibe is through the roof compared to the last 10 games.
And just for Mark Davis to be happy about this win just goes to show that Mark Davis doesn't give a crap about draft position or the draft order. He just wants to win no matter what. At the end of the day, it's just win, baby, right? Now, Antonio Pierce was asked about this and how he felt about the Raiders losing out on the #1 pick after this win, and this is what he had to say.
Pick conversation, what is your response to them?
Talk to Tom Telesco. Yeah, man, look, we work 80 hours a day, or 80 hours a week. Staff, players come here, you know, they're 40 plus hours to work. We don't do this to lose. We don't do this for anybody's fantasy football team. We don't do this for anybody's drafts, projections. None of that shit matters to us. Only thing that matters is winning. And that's all we want to do.
I mean, what else do you expect AP to say, right? I know Tom Telesco is going to be the guy to figure all things out, but nonetheless, if the Raiders have a top 3 pick or a top 10 pick at the end of the day, I do believe that the Raiders will draft the right player for this team. Now, before I go on and ramble about the draft position and the Raiders tanking and whatnot, I want to talk about this game real quick. I actually got to go to the game. Shout out to the Raiders for reaching out to me. I went out to shoot some content with Wits and Whiskey and Netflix, and then I was able to go into the game and just kick it for a little bit. I wasn't planning to go to this game because, I mean, what point was there to go to this game? But I ended up watching the game for a bit before I had to go back home, and just watching it, it seemed like both teams really wanted to lose out there. I mean, I know that the Jacksonville Jaguars didn't have their franchise quarterback. Mac Jones got to play, but they played sloppy ball. They fumbled the ball twice and lost it to the Raiders. Shout out to Isaiah Pullamouth for making some huge plays for the Raiders defense to get the ball back and at least give the Raiders some type of momentum. But the Raiders, on the other hand, didn't even convert a 3rd down until the 3rd quarter. And you would think that the Raiders would be down in this game, but the Raiders are actually up by 6 at this point. The Raiders were up 13-7 at halftime. I'm like, damn, what team is this? Because they look like a totally different team. And then later on in the game, I kind of found this funny. The Raiders are up. Daniel Carlson is getting ready to go out there, add more points to the board. And I'm like, damn, we actually going to win this game. But eventually he misses the field goal. And I'm like, damn, that close? He's still missing field goals? So something doesn't look right here. And then the next play, the Raiders give up a wide open touchdown to Brian Thomas. Shout out to Jack Jones being great as usual, right? It was definitely a crazy turn of events. And I was just sitting there like, are the Raiders actually trying to tank this game away? But at the end of the day, the Jaguars just being as bad as they are, weren't able to come away with the comeback victory. I mean, on 4th and 1, they were able to convert and get a huge run, but it got called back due to a penalty, and the Raiders defense was able to come through with that victory. And man, we end up winning a game just for fun and just for pride, right? But you know, I do want to highlight some players in this game, one being Aidan O'Connell. We knew that when the Raiders said that he was going to start this game, there was a high possibility that we were going to win this game, knowing that, hey, the Raiders aren't that bad when Aidan O'Connell is in there, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are just horrible, and Mac Jones has not beating the Raiders in Las Vegas. So, you know, you put 2 and 2 together and you get a Raiders win. But Aidan O'Connell looked really solid in this game. And hey, my bad. My boy was out there running like he was Lamar Jackson, right? I'm just joking with you guys. But Aidan O'Connell had a solid day, 24 for 38, 257 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Was sacked twice though. But he had 7 carries for 12 yards. Now, I know you guys might be saying just 12 yards, but the way my boy was running for them first downs, man, I was like, ooh, wait, my neck and my back. But just seeing him play like this just reminds me that, hey, he's a solid quarterback when he's healthy and when we do have an offensive line that could keep him upright. Now, moving over to the other side of the ball, I want to highlight a defensive player, and that guy being my cousin Isaiah Pulomel, man. Shout out to Pulomel for having a huge game, man. This guy has a bright future with the Raiders, and I'm excited to see what that entails. Now, in this game, he was all over the field. Isaiah had 11 total tackles and had 2 forced fumbles, which helped the Raiders defense recover. But one more player that I do have to highlight in this game was our star rookie tight end. Yes, I said rookie tight end, Brock Bowers, having a solid day, 11 receptions for 99 yards. And now Brock Bowers surpasses 1,000 yards receiving, the 3rd rookie tight end in history to do that, the first to hit over 100 catches. And he only needs 10 more yards to break Mike Dickett's record, and needs 5 more receptions to pass Puka Nakua's rookie catch record, and only 7 more receptions away from breaking the Raiders record set by Darren Waller just years ago. So again, man, shout out to Brock Bowers having a heck of a season, man. In a season where the Raiders have no hope, the Raiders are doing horrible, he's one bright spot that the team has. Now, I know that all of this doesn't account to wins, but at the end of the day, we got to give props where it's due. And shout out to Brock Bowers being that guy in his rookie season. And hey, the future is bright for this team. We just need a damn quarterback, dog. That's what I'm saying. The Raiders need a quarterback, a franchise quarterback. Aidan O'Connell is not that guy. I do believe that he can be a bridge quarterback for this team, but being the franchise, it just ain't it. Now, I do want to talk about everything that's been going on in the past 24 hours. I know that there's a lot of Raider fans out there that just are mad about this win. There's a lot of Raider fans that are happy about this win and calling out other fans for being mad about this win. And one question that I really had is, will this win actually haunt the Raiders' future? Now, there are 2 ways to go about this, and one side saying, yes, it will, because you will lose out on getting a top quarterback in Shedeur Sanders and possibly even Cam Ward. And this could even set the Raiders back by not getting their franchise guy in this upcoming draft. Now, you look on the other side of things, no, it may not haunt the Raiders, because the Raiders could still get a top 10 pick in this draft, get the best player available, because we know that Tom Telesco, if anything, can draft in the 1st round and pick the right player to set the Raiders up for success in the future. This doesn't mean that the Raiders can't get a quarterback, because the Raiders could still get one later in the 1st round if they trade up, or get one in the 2nd round. And you could still go out and sign a veteran bridge quarterback. As much as people don't want to hear that, that's what it's going to take if the Raiders don't get one of these 2 guys in the 1st round. Plus, this win builds confidence for this team moving forward. Now, would I say that it will haunt the team? I would say no, but I also, wanted the Raiders to at least put themselves in a prime position to get a top quarterback in this upcoming draft. Now, does that mean that I'm a fake fan? No, I don't think that you're a fake fan either way, whether you wanted the Raiders to win or wanted them to lose. You got to understand, though, that fans out there wanted to get a top pick just to get a chance at getting a future franchise quarterback for this team. It just so happens that the Raiders have been losing so much that they put us in that position to want them to go out there and at least get a top pick at the end of the season. So why win any more meaningless games? Now, I understand that the players and the coaches, they want to go out and win because they get paid to do that, and that's totally fine. But you got to look at the fans that are spending their hard-earned money to go out and see a good product on the field. And when we don't see that, the next thing we do is at least have hope in trying to build this team up for the future. And Raider fans have been doing that for many, many years with no good product on the field. The Raiders have been a losing franchise since the early 2000s, and you still have fans going to games, supporting this team, putting events together just for them to be shitty. So you can't blame the fans for wanting the team to quote unquote lose just to at least have a brighter future, or at least have something to hope for the future, because we don't have nothing to hope for right now. We're not trying to get into the playoffs. We're not going to be winning a Super Bowl this year. So why blame fans for wanting this team to lose? That doesn't mean that they're fake fans. It's just that they want what's best for the future. Whether it is getting Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward, whether it does work out or not, at least the fans could have hope in something. And of course, the Raiders can't even do that right. But then again, I understand the other side of it. I don't feel like Raider fans should be overly mad about this win. It is what it is. We won the game. We just got to move on. Yes, it's not what most people wanted, but it's what we got. But with all that being said though, Raider Nation, before I keep yapping about this subject, what do you think about this game? Do you guys feel like this win will haunt the Raiders' future? And since we're out of the top 5, do you feel like the Raiders should take a reach at a quarterback at the position, or should we just draft the best player available? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. Until the next video, this your boy Simone Raider, and your boy is, yeah.